Well, hello, and welcome to basically this 2 month update since the initial hospitalization for my mother. And, you have to celebrate the little things. And so yesterday was a typical day. Nothing seemed like out of the ordinary. This is after her second chemo treatment, and we were 2 days after that treatment completed. And without even realizing it, she went to get into the wheelchair with some assistance as usual. But normally, when I go to put the feet pads up, I have to lift her legs and put those into place. And yesterday, for the first time, she did this on her own with her right leg, which has been the leg that she has not been able to move since the initial fall took place and the swelling in July, which was 2 weeks before going to the doctor at the hospitalization. So basically, my mother has not been able to independently move her legs at will for just at 3 months. And now we are 2 treatments into the chemo and 2 days after that second treatment, and she actually was able to move her foot. It was something that happened in such a small way that I realized, wait a minute, do you realize you just moved your foot on your own? And she's like, well, no, I didn't know what I just did. And I said, exactly. You weren't even thinking about it. You just automatically moved it. So now you have movement there where you have had nothing. And when we went for this secondary treatment of the chemo, the doctor's visit, he was really impressed with how better she looked. She had a little bit more oomph into her. She had a little bit more spark, as he indicated. She gained 13 pounds, which is great. It means my cooking must be good and all the snacks and everything that she's eating. But good progress and good notes. To be safe, they did have us also do a scan for the lungs just to make sure that she wasn't having any fluid buildup, because that medication was changed with her release from the hospital. We see a marked improvement just in that. Of course, it means that she goes to the bathroom all the time, but that's better because this medicine certainly seems to be working than the LASIK was, and her body is responding very well. The feet swelling has gone down noticeably. When she wakes up in the morning, they're not swollen. When she sits for a little bit, it takes a while for them to start to swell again, but then they go down as soon as she elevates or takes a Tylenol. But this being able to move the foot was just a remarkable thing. And it makes you feel like you do have hope. It makes you feel like there is something more to the progress that's maybe going on. The other thing that the doctor commented on was the fact that her spleen, which had been very enlarged and out of place at the start of this, has gone down a lot, substantially. In fact, I somewhat joked, but it was a true statement that my mother, when all of this really started, we realized that she was bloated, and what looked to be bloated looked somewhat pregnant in that, which we knew wasn't even a possibility. So never in my life did I realize that could be an organ that was enlarged and out of place, but we've soon figured all of this out. And now that's noticeably down and getting somewhat normal. And these are physical changes that we can see started after the first chemo treatment. Now with the second treatment, I mean, it's almost overnight, 2 days after the second chemo treatment, and she is moving her foot. Now, granted, it doesn't seem like it's a big thing, but as the evening went on, there was a little more wear and tear on just tension, just the typical of she wanted to do this, she doesn't want to do that. I don't know. I keep liking it to when my kids were small and they just wanted to push back and not do what they were told because they have an opinion. And my mom was kind of feeling that same way, and she got a little feisty with me about the oxygen mask. She wanted the actual mask to go on her face, and I'm like, wait a minute, last night you argued with me that you didn't like that when you were breathing through your mouth. I'm trying to tell you that's the oxygen mask you need instead of just the one in the nose. And so it goes on, and we kind of go around and around. Obviously, what started as a little bit of a fun and game quickly turned to a snap, and she just got really frustrated at that point. And I'm like, I mean, I'm just trying to tell you what we've already had a conversation about, but if you want whatever you want, I'll switch it out. It's still early enough that maybe you want to get up and sit for a bit. And she just really was battling that, this little bit of, I don't know that it's anxiety. It's just a little bit of that defiant, I don't want to be told what to do type of thing. And it's like, well then why am I doing any of this if you can do it all on your own? And lo and behold, my mother got up and walked. She walked from the bedroom to the family room and plopped her butt down on the couch because she was mad at me. And she didn't use a walker. She didn't hold on to anything. She physically got up and walked. And I was like, Mom, do you realize you just walked? Like, you haven't walked more than 6 steps with assistance. And you just literally walked from the bedroom to the family room. Well, of course, the mood had changed because of everything. And I was being such a mean, bad person because I was suggesting that she sit up for a while instead of going to bed. Because she'd slept for 4.5 hours earlier. And, anyway, regardless of any of that, my mother actually walked 2 days after her second chemo treatment. And it is just absolutely astounding and hopeful. And hopefully today it'll be more of the same and she just continues to make progress. But it is emotional, and it is something that you don't know if you're giving yourself false hopes, if you are making something out of something that isn't there. But the reality is that she did walk. I'm so sorry. If getting mad at me made you that determined that you could just get up and walk, you can be mad at me all day long then. Because that is at least the spunk and the fortitude that you need to know that you are not crippled by this diagnosis, that there is the potential, as the doctors originally said, that there's no reason to not expect you would go right back to the way that you were before this sudden onset happened. So in July, my mother was fully functioning, walking, and we were on vacation. And that was great. And August 5th, she went into the hospital, not able to move or walk, and completely just dealing with things that we didn't realize until the end of August. And September started her chemo treatment, and she's now had her second chemo treatment, and my mom just walked. So I'm going to take that as a win. And I don't know, our next chemo treatment is a month away. And in this time, maybe good things are going to continue to happen. Maybe the next chemo treatment will then be followed by a scan that gives us really good news. But we're celebrating now, and I hope that that gives somebody else reasons to hold out and to do the treatment and to take the hard steps, do the hard things. And yes, you have to deal with a lot of the personalities that come along with it and know your own personality and how it's coming out. It's easy for me to resort back to do as I say, because that's how you raised me, Mom. But ultimately, I still realize that caring for her and being here with her in this time is the most important thing. So I'm glad I'm getting that opportunity. I'm glad that I have this ability to vent, share, express whatever is going on, and somehow therapeutically work through it in my head if I need to. And then we'll go home at the end of the day and like it never happened. We'll be goldfish, as Lasso likes to say. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration, and that's what it's about, is giving you inspiration to know that the hard days are then followed by a good day, and that's what you have to celebrate, even if it's just a moment. Take care.